Episode 622. Come along, let's hunt everybody. Come on, get happy. Yeah. Penny roll hunting. I gotta say, with all the crap that's going on, right? In the economy, politics, the world, the violence. Not for nothing. It's just the same old BS, man. You know, one side saying crap about the other side, but nothing's really changed. In my lifetime, the only time I ever saw a change in the economy was really during COVID. And as horrible as it was, you know, jobs were created and people had spending power. And that's the bomb. That's the only time I ever seen a significant change. As horrible of an event as it was, that was it. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. Everybody knows. Everybody was there. But everything went back to the same. Same old, same old. Really horrible world we live in. But the one thing that's gonna change 100% is there's gonna be no more pennies in a few months. That's the one thing that's gonna change. And it's gonna be a significant change. Like, it's something that's gonna change our lives, even at a small level. It's going to change all of America's lives for the what? For the better, for the worse, for I don't know about all that, better or worse. There's going to be you never people who grow up, children who become adolescents. Will they even use change to buy anything? Little kids are walking around with cell phones now. You know what I'm saying? 6, 7 years old. They got whatever. They got watch phone. They got something on them. They're going to school. They're not even using books. They're using tablets. So this next generation, and they call them alphas. I don't know where they got that from. I'm sorry to say, I don't think any alphas watch this channel. No one wants to hear me talk sense. That's funny, right? Get sense. Alphas don't want to hear me talk sense. I don't know where they got that from. They should really, this new generation, in my opinion, should be called beta. They're sensitive, overly sensitive, fragile, even unhealthy, right? A lot of them don't even know how to cook for themselves. They're addicted to the to this fast-paced, fast-moving technological world, and don't have the ability to slow down. When I was a kid, So I'm a child of hippies. Not that that means anything. I'm like 99% sure that's a wide AM. Yes. It's a little bit closer than most wide AMs, but it's a wide AM. Unfortunately, it would be about probably $200 penny now. Close AM's the valuable one on the 1992. A lot of copper in this penny roll. Um, and when I grew up, I read books on Tai Chi, on Zen. Things about um, being in touch with your environment, awareness. You know, even though I wasn't a very good student, I wasn't. But I still wasn't. I still wanted to. And there were people who were writing books on those things. I'm not saying people aren't writing about books and those things anymore, but our culture definitely has shifted away from that way of thinking. Being aware, disconnecting. No, 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 no. This new generation is about plugging in and uh, and what's the word I'm looking for? Plugging in and tuning out. you know, and I personally am more about unplugging and tuning in. So just from a personal philosophy, right? And having a philosophy that philosophy means, right? It comes from the Greek word philos. It means the love of knowledge, right? The love of knowledge. And penny roll hunting is probably one of those few things that you have to tune in on, and you have to unplug. You have to unplug for a little while, right? So I don't. Most alphas, right? I mean, obviously, if you're giving your kids, which it's okay. I like video games too, but if that's all you know is video games and shopping on Temu, then there's a problem. If you're 7 years old and that's all you know, if you're 6 years old, 8 years old, if you're a kid and you've never rode a bike in the park, you've never played games, you never played tag, man. We used to play tag and red light, green light, and if you don't know what it's like to be connected with other kids, for me that's an issue. I mean, we're not. This is the year 2020. Well, this video is being made in the year 2025. This isn't the year 3080 and we're living on, the moon. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's still parks. There's still kids of your own age. What a beauty this is, huh? Found a lot of copper pennies in this penny roll. So penny roll hunting, man, what a great activity. If anybody does penny roll hunting, my first member, Eric, Kenai Collectibles, told me on several occasions that he penny roll hunted with his daughter. And let me tell you, I never, well, I probably said that's great, and maybe I never went into detail about my feeling on that. But that gave me that warmed my heart, man. For 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 a parent to be doing, something like this with their child. You know, somebody told me that they taught. I haven't heard someone tell me that they taught their child how to. Well, his daughter to like to. I'm sure he does, and I'm sure a lot of people do. But I think most people do not. Like teach their kids how to cook. I tell my son all the time, man. And he's a what is he? Right? Gen Z, millennial? No, he's a millennial. My son's a millennial. All the time, he's always eating out. It's like, cook, man. You know, go pick something up, throw it in a pot. You know, I don't know if he's ever cooked. You might say, how come you didn't teach your son how to cook? Well, I should have. I should have. I was doing other things when I had him very young. No excuse. But I know it's wrong. I guess that's my point. You know, I know it's wrong. Right, so I'm not being a hypocrite. If I can go back in time, I would have. I take responsibility for that. I own it, even though I know it's wrong. But, and I should have did penny roll hunting with him. If I would have known, I would have did it. But I have this video out there. I have hundreds and hundreds. I have thousands of videos. I have almost 6,000 videos out. And this is something you could do with your kids. You can still go. You can still go now. Go now. Go to the bank. Take $100 and get 200 penny rolls from the bank. Very heavy. And you'll have for $100, you'll have endless amounts of penny roll hunting you could do with your kid. And you could just have this quiet activity that you could do with them. And you can look up another 92. Oh, and you can look up well, actually, if you watch my videos, you could hear me talk about a lot of the different types, right? You got wide AMs on 1992s. You can look for, close AMs on 1992s. You can look for. You got wide AMs. You could look for on the 1998, 99, 2000. You have the different variations of 1982s. You can look just like common stuff, and you say, "Oh, that's an 82. Which one is that? Is that the large date or is that the small date? Is that copper?" You can pull out a little scale and you can weigh them. You can teach them on the difference between the weight between zinc, how zinc weighs less than copper. You can show them when the last copper penny was made in 1982. You might find a wheat cent and tell them about the different years. You could open their minds to coin history. I mean, coins. If you would have collected coins, and I'm sure some of you out there who are watching this video are coin collectors. On you could teach them the 1988. Is there a flare G? You can even get a microscope if you want to get nuts. See the little line on the G, the one that goes up and down this way, sideways this way. If there's a flare, if there's the little line, the serif that comes out this way, it's a flare G. It's worth hundreds of dollars. That one's not the flare G. You could teach them these simple different things, and here's hey mom, hey dad, let's penny roll hunt today. 2000. Is there a wide AM on this? There's not. But you can keep searching for one. You can pick up different coins, and so back to my last thought for this video. If you would have, if I collected coins, right? So coins that were just 10 years ago were $5 or $10 to or $20 today. You're talking about 100 to 200 percent. Yeah, 2 times the difference. Way better. I mean, the stock market typically goes up. I think it's 9% a year. Real estate typically used to go up 5% a year. You're talking about they would have had an investment. You would have taught them about investing, right? And because with inflation, if you just have money, Even Pokemon cards, right? Could get if you would have bought your kids Pokemon cards 20 years ago and held on to them to today, you could be a multi millionaire from those same cards. There were cards that I remember that they were $5, $10 graded tens 15 years ago that are thousands each. You're talking about, it's incredible, man. The way inflation has destroyed the value of uh of our dollar. And you could talk to them about the economy and finance, all kinds of stuff just through penny roll hunting, man. And you could still do it. You could still do it. Still possible. But next year you can't do it no more. You can never go into a bank. At some point next year, you might still be able to get pennies in 2026. I'm not sure how that's going to work exactly. That's going to be an interesting time in American history. But I recommend everyone going out there and getting some pennies now. Right? I am giving financial advice. I am. You know how most people say, disclaimer, this is not financial advice, blah, blah, blah. Speak. No, no, no. I'm giving financial advice. Go out and get pennies while you can. Okay? And I promise you they're never going to be worthless. I promise you. I make a promise. I'm making a statement on the internet right now. I promise you they will never be worth less than a penny. And I could guarantee you they're going to be worth more than a penny in the years to come. The pennies that you get from the bank today. All right, go out there and get yourself a few boxes of pennies from the bank while you can. People who watch this in the future, in 2027, 2028, and beyond, are going to say, I wish I would have got pennies. I wish I would have seen Penny helped Jess. I wish I would have listened to Jesse back in 2025 when he said get pennies, when I was watching those short videos that he's making. Anyway, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, you want to see how much copper we got today? These copper pennies are going to be worth 10 cents a piece. That's 10x. That's 1,000%. Right? They're going to be $5 a roll to purchase one day. Circulated copper pennies like this are going to be 10 cents a piece. In 2030, there might be more. They might be 15 cents a piece. I promise you. And if you're watching this in the future, leave a comment. Leave a comment in 3030. How much are pennies worth in 3030, 2029, 3031? Are they 10 cents, 15 cents, a quarter? Or was I wrong? Are they 7 or 8 cents? If they're 7 or 8 cents, then they only went up 700%. And see what else you have, see if your money went up 700. See if that dollar you have from 2025 is worth $10 and has $10 purchasing power in 2035. Right? Chances are that dollar from today has 50 cents purchasing power. We found about 5, 10, 15, 16, found about 18 copper pennies here. If those are worth 10 cents a piece one day, that's going to be $10 and $1.19. It'll be worth $1.90 if I have 19 pennies. But your paper dollar, if we're still using it, is going to be worth 50 cents. These pennies will be worth 3 times that amount. Anyway, God bless. I'll see you in the next one.